So we have a new event. This one's pretty interesting. I feel like they basically took most of the advice we talked about last time with the name card event, which is another fighting event that we had right here. This is the name card that I ended up getting on my free play account too. We talked about it, and now we have another one, Unlimited Fighting Championship. Now, realistically, I don't think they actually listened to the feedback and acted upon it, but I think it just coincidentally happened to be an upgrade compared to the previous one. And today I'm gonna be doing a run on this account for the first time on my free play one to see how accessible it is. I've also done it on a bunch of other accounts on Twitch for some people, just for funsies, to help a little bit and to get a grasp for it, so I can talk about it from different perspectives now that I've done it on multiple accounts. So yeah, I'll also be doing it on this account as we go, and we can talk about each of the bosses and its requirements and so on. Now, first of all, the system is already pretty different just from the get-go because you don't get a name card. No name card, there's no exclusive reward for being the best of the best. So yeah, that out of the way, that already makes it, I mean, it was to be expected to not have more like that, at least not right away. So that's pretty good. We have 5 different bosses here with medals going from bronze to platinum. Now, the first one's really easy to get, and the last one not so much. But you will realize that this is just Mora and some Mystic Enhancement doors, which is great, because those rewards are pretty extra. The most desired ones are obviously the first 2 because of the Primus, and maybe the 200 one, the gold one, is nice to have. You can also change the difficulty, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, here. So you can go from normal, hard to extreme, level 50 to level 95 at the end. So yeah, you have like 2.5 minutes. I believe it doesn't matter the difficulty you pick. To be honest, I haven't done it at lower difficulties, but if anyone is not really that late into the game, maybe you can just lower the difficulty as you see fit. You know, I feel like at least hard mode just to get this done should be pretty valuable. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, it has some interesting dynamics, this one. I'm just gonna pick extreme for everything. It has 999 HP bars, there's a lot of buffs, so it may seem a bit intimidating, but it's not a big a deal. I'm gonna go one by one, talking about each one of them. But basically, if you wanna play it pretty casually, you can just get the quick primos, and the other stuff is not exclusive, so you can just honestly get the rewards really quick. You can actually even quit out of the combat and still get the rewards. You get as many points as you had already at the moment, or HP bars defeated. So let's just go with this first one. I'm gonna try to keep it relatively quick, and maybe I cut down some stuff to make it a bit quicker. Now, here we go. I'm not gonna read this thing, but I'm gonna basically explain it to you. There's 2 halves, kinda like in Abyss, but this one has a different dynamic. Also, trial characters. That's already an upgrade compared to the previous one, to make it, since they are giving us some more specific things that we have to use. They want us to use a bow character for the second half because of the boss to knock it down, so that's honestly the only requirement. And on the first one, they want us to destroy shields. This is gonna be with a Cryo and Electromage. So they want us to use someone like Yume Mizuki. If you have someone like Venti or Kazu, those are really good. But you also don't want to use characters that you intend to use in the second half, because they are not shared. They are locked there once you pick them. I'm pretty sure I have a Venti. I cannot even see him. Do I not have a Venti? Okay, I was gonna say, like, there's no way. No. Kazu Venti, really good. I would suggest having someone else like Shanglin. Having Shanglin with these characters is already more than enough. Yume Mizuki honestly isn't even that good for this part, but you know, she's there. Sucrose and Shanglin is already enough. If you do want to use Shanglin, you could just pick any other pyro, but I'm just gonna keep it like this to keep it simple. Now, out of this account is pretty abundant, so I don't have many of the... Do I have no Nadlan characters at all? I did do a temple for Ian San, but yeah, I don't have anything. So I think it's gonna be a pretty interesting way to look at this event. I have some Fontaine characters, but yeah, I just don't have enough time to play this one. Now, honestly, if you have Arlecchino, this event is so much easier. This team already clears like a lot of it. Now, we kinda want to look at... Yeah, no, not kinda. You definitely want to look at the buffs. But you can kinda get a grasp for it just from a quick look. Basically, Pyro Hydro Electro Cryo, more damage. Character damage, nice, easy. And the last one, Pyro Hydro Electro Cryo, nice, damage again. So yeah, just run any like swallowable elements and you'll be doing more damage. That's it. Let's keep it simple. You get more buffs, the more you manage to do of what is required on the first half. So you don't actually need it, but you definitely want to go for all of them. And it's really easy to do so. Compared to Theater, the dynamic on the first one is pretty interesting because you can actually just pick random teams like you cannot do in Theater, but here you're not forced to be put in that position and have some really awkward things. It actually makes sense to go for something like this. So we're just gonna try to swell these ones from the beginning and try to get them. Oh, and you start with no energy, so that's something I also wanted to talk about. Maybe we just Yume Mizuki for like quote-unquote damage, but shouldn't be much of an issue. But yeah, on both of the halves you don't start with any energy, like at all. Let me lower the volume a little bit. There we go. You don't start with any energy, so that also leads to some interesting decisions you may want to take for both teams, and even your builds you may want to even change. Bennett Kazu honestly is already so good if you don't use Bennett on the first side. But yeah, here you just break the shields, you're not really going for anything else. I'm just kinda going Unga Bunga. We're just trying to break everything, and that's it. Now it's pretty cool because it's not just we have this limited amount of time to defeat the enemies. This is different, and it's actually different on each boss, as you will see as we go on. But yeah, that's it for the first half. You could just adapt depending on what you have, but basically any animals and some pyro can go a long way. For this boss, it's pretty straightforward. I like to start my rotations funneling particles as quick as possible, cause you start with like nothing. But look at that, that's a really nice rotation that we can start with. What am I using? Oh, I'm using this weapon. I may switch to Black Leaf. I forgot this, yeah, this build is kinda scuffed, but it's fine. But yeah, you can see all of the HP bars, which I believe is the first time we see a dynamic like this one in the game. It is interesting. And if you have constellations on Chevy, or obviously on any of them, you'll do even better. I think this is C0 Chevy that I just kind of threw together. But this still does pretty well. Once you do enough damage, or like after some time, it's not even damage based, you will go all the way up in the air, you will miss 2 shots. Embarrassingly, I'm gonna blame my mouse, and yeah. And then we go on and proceed to continue with the rotations. So that's why you need a bow character. Technically you can use others that can also do it, but you know, whatever. Let me reduce the volume a bit more. Yeah, so it's a bit more chill. But yeah, you're just gonna go like that for 2.5 minutes or so. As you can see, we already had 420 bars, so definitely more than enough to get gold. This one is one of the easier chambers of the bunch, like no matter what you use. Obviously some people are gonna have better things for different chambers, but point still stands overall. This one's one of the most accessible ones. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to get platinum. I'm just gonna do like 1 try on each, and we'll just see where that leaves us. Now, it would have been kinda nice. To have a bit more of an incentive to actually try harder, if it makes any sense. At least for me, it would have been. I was gonna change up my rotation and I regretted it immediately. Cool. Oh, and you can also use foot buffs. I don't like using foot buffs. I still don't like that. I don't love the idea. But you can use them if you really wanna. Of course. Actually, just a few more hits, but yeah. We got the platinum with a bit of a cope. I mean, the team is really good. But, you know, I don't have that much investment on this account for a bunch of things compared to my main and things I like. So yeah, we got the platinum. So we get to claim everything. That's pretty cool. You get to see the medal here on the top, and we're just gonna proceed to go to the chicken. And I already forgot what I was talking about. Cool. Now for this second one, it just tells us to use burst, which is pretty cool. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Like, we just have to use burst. So let me just use like Xiao, Faru, what else? What am I gonna use on this one? Okay, so maybe you do kinda want to see like whatever you're gonna use. I know I'm not gonna use these characters. I know I'm not gonna use all of you. So I'm down to just use whatever. Yeah. Like all of these will be getting the burst pretty quick, except Sucrose probably. But I think it's funny. They give you like a trial Raiden. Raiden does help with those kind of things, so you can just run a double Electro team or something funny like that. But I like to make sure I can just use whatever I want on the second half. Now on this one it says that you basically want to use Vaporize or Melt for this one. So honestly, I'm just gonna use Arlecchino again, and this time I'm gonna use a team like this. This team is really good. I guess I'll keep the weapon, because we do actually want the EM now, though it's only R1, I think, because I don't want to refine it, even though I have the materials because I'm weird. But yeah, I guess instead of that, you know, we'll just use Raiden. We don't really need heals either, so we can just go for whatever. So yeah, let's just stand it on this one. Then again, we start with no energy, so you do want quick energy generation. I think Sucrose is gonna be decent at that. And the more enemies you kill, the more particles you also get. Bam, bam. There we go, so that's one burst. That's another burst. And obviously my rotations don't make sense per se. But I'm just trying to just use all of the burst. As we use all of the burst, there's certain cooldowns, so you still have to wait, but we'll generate everything. I will funnel to you. If you don't have C6 Faru, don't even try to use Faru, you know it. And now we need one more burst. Oopsies. Whoopsies. And we'll just wait. We have 13 seconds still. We're just gonna use this one and it's gonna end it like that. Cool. So that's it, and on to the next one. Ba-ba-bam. This one, so since they give us a trial Silali, you can run a Plancha Gamin or maybe a Mabuika team with Silali if you didn't get her. Mabuika, obviously, she's gonna do great on an event like this one, not gonna lie. It is what it is. We'll try to make it work. Now this chicken, I hate it. I'm sure, I'm like absolutely sure, I'm not gonna be able to get platinum on this team. This team is like really good, but I don't have like, then again, like the best things ever. If you have more investment, I'm sure you can do better. But yeah, not the case here. It's always gonna do the same rotations. I'm not gonna wait for this one. You just have to adapt your rotations a little bit. No. Here we go, here's the annoying part. Now we do have Silali for the shields, which helps obviously. There's still a pretty annoying thing to have to go through. And now it's gonna go back to the middle. Sometimes it actually does an extra attack. Oh yeah, it did it, yikes. And I'm probably gonna cry because it's gonna be weird with its attacks. I guess I'll fit in this rotation here. Usually it just runs back to the middle. So it's probably gonna do it at an awkward time, which I'm gonna hate. Messed up the smells there. Yeah, so now I just got disabled and it's probably gonna go run again. Yeah, this is probably worse. We'll go through another hollow rotation, most likely, so I guess we'll get to see it. It's probably gonna do it now, right? Now you're gonna go back to the middle. Please don't do something weird again. What? Oh my god, he's doing something weird again. I swear this is not usually how it goes, but there's on the off chance that this happens, well, you just adapt however you can, I guess. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You do have pretty good damage. All of this damage is so always inflated. Yep, it's always inflated because we have so many buffs. And now I don't have enough energy because this is a trial Silali. Imagine trial characters having enough ER, that'd be crazy, I know. We get to do one more rotation, won't be enough for everything we need, but at least we did our part. We'll just go for that. Oh, and you can also get an achievement from that. Messed up the melts because of that. And I'm sure with food, and if I just do it again, wasting a bit less time, I can get that one, but I'm not even gonna try. Like, I mean, I kinda want it. That's the thing, right? Like, if you don't want to, you can just skip it. And if you do want to spend the extra time just trying to min-max it a little bit, it's also a fun thing to do. If you do have fun with those kind of things, and if you don't, well, it is what it is, it's fine. You skip to the next one. Now, we're gonna go to this one. Yeah, this one, you just basically want a lot of pyro. Like, usually whenever we have pyro enemies, you think like, oh yeah, don't use pyro because they have pyro resistance. But in this case, it doesn't work like that. They want you to use burning or overload. You see the reactions here, the names, and that's all you have to know. Oh, I didn't notice I wasn't showing that. Oh, I guess I'll show this on the other ones really quick. But yeah, these are the buffs we have for all of them. You see any of the keywords, and you just use the things accordingly. You see any of the elements or any of the reactions they want you to use, and you just go for those. Yup. So yeah, surely I won't forget to show it later, now that my cartoon is covering it up a little bit. On this one, they want you to use to use healers to be above 85%. There's a permanent corrosion on top of the enemies that apply even more corrosion, and they want you to use burning overload or something like that. Now, my best team for that is probably the same team I was using earlier, so I'm just gonna use that. But if you use Bennett Shanglin, Bennett Kasu Shanglin, any kind of combos that use something like that for a lot of power application, it would be good. So like whether that's with Tartaglia, Raiden, Monopower, Alikino, whatever you wanna do, I don't know. Lini would be pretty good too. So things like that are pretty nice. Oh, and burning is also an option, so Kini, Emily, characters like that can be pretty good. I did one on a viewer's account that was like Lini burning with Emily, Lini, Bennett Shanglin or something like that, just based on what they had, and we managed to get the platinum with that too. It was pretty cool. Now, for this one, you just want I'm gonna use my Shanion because I don't trust you. I'm gonna use Baishu. Technically, HP scaling characters are gonna do a bit worse at this because it's gonna be harder to heal all of their HP. You can use Reina, just be on healer stance, and I actually really like to use Kazu on this one. You could use Venti instead. I'm gonna use Venti instead because Venti would be a bit more wonky to use in the second half compared to the first one, but having some crowd control on this one, it's just really comfy. Because you do have corrosion either way, but having them not attack you, the enemies on top of that, makes it even better, obviously. If you even want to run like both Kazu and Venti, even better. Oopsies, I forgot I was draining my HP with all of that. Oof, that's a tough way to start, not gonna lie. I don't even have that much energy here. Oh, this is so bad right now, admittedly. Oh my. But we'll recover, I swear. Now they're gonna get swelled, now we're getting all of the heals. Oh, I forgot about the Baishu skill. It's literally what heals. So that should still be fine, if I'm not mistaken. We're just gonna use Venti whenever we can, just to... Oof. Yeah, we're gonna use Venti whenever we can, just to crowd control them, so we don't have to worry about it. We can funnel some particles while we do that. Ouch. And let's see if this is enough. I think I'm a bit off, to be honest. I kinda wanna do it with, that's tricky. I mean, I think it's because I threw at the beginning, but you do really have to be at full HP from the beginning, yep. I think it's because I forgot to switch to healer mode for the most part. We're just gonna do another quick run. I don't mind doing it, even if you do not want to do another one, you could just roll with it, it's fine. Oh, and I forgot about the Baishi skill again. This should put us in a decent position either way. Should be fine. Oof. I don't really want to switch to anyone else because we already high HP on Shenin. But this is what I'm talking about. Like this has like a pretty interesting synergy and way of going about things. Like it's not just kill the enemies and be gone, which I actually really like. I think this is pretty cool. Yes, you really take advantage of different things. So this time I did better. It's a quick retry with some different style combat, which then again I like really like this. I think this is really cool. Like sure, I'm not doing huge numbers and I don't know, using the most taking advantage of the most min-max builds, but it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I think this is fun. This is still fun. Now on the fun fact now. Also, for anyone that has extreme high investment on their account and their characters, this is gonna be great. Usually you go to Abyss and other things and you really cannot do anything. Like, you go through a full rotation and by the time you get to your support you have killed all enemies 20 times. Now, obviously, not the same for everybody, but my point still stands. Here, if I had C6R5 for every character, I probably still wouldn't complete all of the HP bars. I mean, on this team specifically, 3 of them are 4 stars, so... But, you know, you get my point. Now, you can see the bar from this one. It's the first time I even do this bar, so you can tell I don't play it all that much. I could have recasted Visuals burst there. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, on this one, you just see the shield bar go down as you apply more pyro. Chevy's burst is actually pretty good for that because you apply a good amount of pyro, so try to save it for that if you do use it here. And now we have the bar again. We had some downtime. And now we go back to this. Yep. I used the burst there. Cool, and we have another one. So let's see if we can just knock out. Now, given the time we have, if we just do the same rotations, this will definitely be enough for platinum. So I'm not too worried about that. Even then, I do find it fun to just try to get as many points as possible. Oopsies, I was close to not knocking it. Whee! I think if you don't apply enough power, it does an attack, but you can still like knock it after that, if I'm not mistaken. Yeet. And you also may want to change your ER. Like many people don't put themselves in a situation like this event that really show how important ER is. Because sometimes you're gonna be really low on ER if you... Oof, oh, and I did that upscale, that's so sad. Okay, we don't talk about that. I didn't have it in cooldown. Speaking of ER, yeah, ER on many characters and on bosses like this one that don't give you extra particles for different HP thresholds or things like that are actually really important. So yeah, I messed up a lot at the end here, but it's fine, it's fine. At least I got, it's fine. We still made it work. So this is cool. Now, I've seen some extreme investment and some extreme optimizing and min-maxing for some of these ones. I saw DHC clear this one with basically all C6R5 characters, really nice rotations, all of the food buffs you may want. Clearing all of the HP bars in 1 minute and a half, I think a bit over a minute and a half. So that's pretty crazy. But that's crazy though. That's 1 minute and a half of doing rotations again and again and again, doing like 10 million damage per mob wicca burst and so much damage in general. I don't know, it's crazy. I love that there's really a place every so often, at least. I wish this kind of thing was there more often or even permanent, in a way, to really make use of all of those min-max things and extra high investment, because we don't really have a place to make those shine. Like if you do decide to go for C6R5 characters, what are you gonna do with them? Like, hey, if you do it and you have the disposable income to do so, you just wanna do it, that's great. But I think we would all agree that it's nice to have a place where you can really put those to the test, as opposed to going through 2 of the characters you have and just killing everything accidentally before even getting to the quote-unquote DPS. In any case, on this one they want us to freeze enemies. Then again, having Kazu or Venti is pretty comfy. Don't pull Venti just for that though. Just because a character is pretty convenient for these things, don't be, this is just a time limited thing. Obviously there's way more value than that on characters like Venti, and I still think it's nice, but just trying not to get debated into pulling for characters just because of things like that. Anyway, on to the next one. Frozen. So on this one we really just want them to freeze, ideally off of skills, and we also want to have Planche. Planche on the second half is the keyword. You could use Shao. In my case, given the investment of everything, I want to use a Planche down, so something like that. I would run it with Yellen, and you can use Gamin, any Planche focused teams. I actually did it with Planchito, Saltito, the so-called, and it was actually really good. Like, we managed to get platinum. I mean, it was really high investment, but still, pretty funny what you can do. Now for this one, we can use Silali just because she's trial. Ganju is not a good option because she doesn't have much ER. I'll use Sincho because I know I won't use him on the second half, and he'll get his burst pretty quick. And ideally we would use another Hydro, I guess. I think I'm gonna use actually Rio, and instead of Ganyu, do we have any other Cryos? Or do I have any other? Not so much. I guess Sincho Rio is probably enough either way. I just send it like that. I forgot that I was gonna try Ganyu teams, because I do have a really good Ganyu on this account. I wanted to see how far they get, but I also really wanna just do this thing pretty quick for the video and show some of the most optimal things. I don't have enough ER. See, for like situations like that, it really shows how important ER is and how many people, including myself at times too, don't really build enough ER for the worst case scenario, which is totally fine. Like, it's totally understandable. If you don't put yourself in situations where you're gonna be low on ER, why bother, getting extra ER? I mean, it's always comfy. But yeah, you just want enemies frozen here. I think I'm not doing all that well, to be honest. And just in 5-star animations takes quite some time, so yeah, maybe you want to use 4 stars a bit more because of things like that. Is that gonna be enough? Now we gonna close. Ooh, that was close. But yeah, whatever team usually works, and yeah, it's just not so stressful this first half, and even the second one. Yeah, it's just way more chill. Like, I'm okay with just doing one run here for everyone. I'm gonna do a rotation without even using all of the other burst, just while we wait for the skills so we can get some extra energy. Oopsies. Whoopsies. That's the one down, I guess. We're gonna wait for you. You definitely want to apply Hydro or Pyro to those things. Can you do it with other elements? Maybe you can. Oopsies. Anyway, I'm kinda throwing getting hit like this. Now this part can be pretty annoying. Whenever it infused Dendro on itself, this chicken. But yeah, look at that, within 650k on Hutao for the planches. Definitely a lot of buffs for that. Whee! And we send it back. But yeah, the power up, whenever it infuses Dendro on itself, can be pretty annoying. Yep, getting hit right off the burst. And here, like, I'm not gonna get the vapes because of that. At least I missed like 1 or 2. And sometimes it can mess up things even more. Mostly if you have someone like Mabuika, like missing the initial burst would be pretty painful. I believe this may be enough. Oh, I forgot to use Shenyan. That's actually so bad. And this would go on cooldown, so. Weep. And the reason why I don't like food buffs is because they are so inconsistent. It's pretty annoying to even use them, to be honest. Like, let me go for the right food. Oh, now it expired. Like on some where I actually did use food. Oh my god, look at all the vapes we just missed. That's so painful. Yeah, probably not gonna get it, but can definitely do so if I play better. Which is a spot that I like to be at, so like this is still pretty decent investment, and you know, and I'm doing decently well, but it's just not gonna be enough. Which is cool. It just pushes me to actually do better. And again, something we don't usually get. You can also pause with the inventory menu to get the energy instantly. And unfortunately, I was a bit low in ER, and I got oh no, and I missed that one, and it had burning. Yeah. So there's some RNG to it too. It's a bit wonky. I kind of want to repeat it, but then again, for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna do one of each. It would be kind of cool to get platinum to do plat, gold, and plat again, but there's no way I'm getting plat on this one. I can tell you that much. I'm claim rewards, so I don't forget about it. But then again, if you don't mind missing on this cute extra rewards, oh, they're slightly different, are they? Yeah, it was talents here, it was potions on the other one, enhanced mentors here, and potions again on this one. What even were the trial characters on this one? I forgot. Oh yeah, Varsa is really good for this, obviously, too. You do kinda want her best teams for that, either way. Yeah. Now, the trial characters, when it comes to carries, I wouldn't rely on them so much, but definitely enough to get gold, and you can make it work to get platinum in some specific scenarios. With enough good supports and enough investment, yada yada. Now, this one is the worst one. I hate this one. Like, all in all, the event is pretty cool, but this one I don't like. Here's the thing, on the other ones they were like, oh yeah, just freeze the enemies on the first half and you can use any plant themes on the second half. And you don't want to use any plant freeze themes of any kind, so it's pretty cool. You can use whatever, and you have like quite some room to use whatever you want to on the second half within the restrictions or extra buffs that you definitely want to favor. But for this one, they want you to use Night Soul on both sides, which sucks. Like, this boss is already annoying because of the pillar that you can climb technically with most characters, but it's tricky to get it consistently. I may show it on this one, but yeah, you can look it up otherwise. And I always do it on Twitch if you want to ask for any more specifics. But in any case, oh, this is gonna be awful for this account. This really is gonna... I'm gonna go for gold and I'll be happy if I even get gold. Now, I'm gonna do something actually a little bit different. Given that I cannot really use Night Soul on the second half, I'm actually gonna use this same theme again. And I'm gonna use Shanion to get on top of the pillar, and I'm just not gonna use any Night Soul to try to get this boss disabled a little bit quicker. I'm just gonna use the 2 trial characters, which is great to be able to do something. And apparently I have a level 1 Ian Sun with nothing at all. And the last thing I use will be Baishu. Wow, just what we wanted. So yeah, pretty random things, but did I have... Maybe I do have Auroron, I should. Did I do the event to get the free Auroron? I'm not even sure if I did. Anyway, the point being that you can just kinda use anything here. I think things still apply here decently well, like with instant at level 1, I think still fine. And if you have Shiloh, this is also pretty nice. Whee! Let's see if we can just do it with these ones, with mainly just Molani and Mawika. I'm not so sure, because this is not like normal Night Soul burst. It's like the procs you get on just from using Night Soul. You get to really see all of those with Shiloh. I'm not so sure about the other things because it doesn't matter as much, but yeah, this was definitely enough with just these ones nonetheless. And then again, killing doesn't really matter. And there we go. But that's not actually like the burst itself for Night Soul characters. It's like a different mechanic. Yeah, but just spam all of your abilities on Night Soul characters and you'll be fine. Basically. Now for this one, I hate this one. It has really high resistances. Is this the one we still have on Abyss right now? Or I believe so. Or what's the for the previous one? I think it was the previous one. I've been doing more of the event and less of Abyss, and it shows. We'll just funnel energy the same way. This one is pretty consistent on what it does. Whenever you don't use Night Soul, you don't feel the bar that you can see to the right of the timer. And if you don't feel the bar, it's just gonna stay on this state for quite a bit longer. Oh, I messed up. Okay, cool. Can I go with Hutao? Yup, there we go, good way to show it. You can do it with Hutao. I like to prefire a burst, like for instance on this one, to have a bit more time. But now it's disabled, which gives us a bit of room to do real damage here. I mean, real damage is not even damage, because then again, all of the buffs are around Night Soul, and I definitely cannot do that. Now, I think this is a good opportunity, to be honest, to just cancel. I know at this point that I definitely cannot get Platinum. I'm just gonna leave it. Exit the challenge to finalize your current results, yeah? Let's do it. 264, new record. I'm not gonna get Plat, so I got to 200 and I'm out of here. Exit, I'm done. Just like that, which I do actually appreciate quite a bit. Because it would be a bit annoying to have to go through everything or even just AFK it if you want to be a bit more lazy about it. Yeah, we still got the rewards, got it claimed, and we are good to go. So yeah, a bunch of good things from this event compared to the previous one. With an in-card one, we had complaints of no trial characters, pretty restrictive themes we had to use, and then in-card event being pretty challenging to get, pretty hard for most. So yeah, a reward that most casuals would want, and only min-maxers could usually get. Kinda. So yeah, the disparity is kinda wonky. I'm pretty sure I forgot to show the buffs for this one, for the chicken and this other one, so quick little show for these two, and there we go. So yeah, those are the buffs. You use Night Soul characters, you do more damage. You use Planche and you do crazy damage too. So yeah, any Planche based characters will do great, and any Night Soul ones will do also really well. Now this one's the hardest one no matter what, so honestly it's just gonna be pretty challenging. You can do it with Malani. Malani is actually pretty good for this. I've done it like that. And Mabuka is obviously great for basically all of them. You can even do Planche Mabuka. But yeah, all of them. You can basically fit in Mabuka, and it's probably the best option, to be honest. But definitely don't feel like you have to do it with Mabuka. I did try my Mabuka on my main, but like, yeah, you definitely don't have to do it like that. But yeah, all in all, I think this is quite an upgrade. If I was to say anything, this is pretty close to perfect. I kinda liked it. I was talking about it yesterday on stream, whenever the platinum medals were a bit hidden. So maybe you would have like all of the rewards condensed into these first 3 rewards, these first 3 tiers of the medals. And if you do manage to get to 900 points, or let's say 1000, because honestly that would look a bit better aesthetically, a bit more pleasant. You just get a platinum medal without any extra rewards. I would be cool with that, you know? Like, oh, yo, I got platinum. Actually, like, oh, you can get platinum? Dude, like, that's actually pretty sick. Even if it's to be expected after some of these events that are usually like that. But yeah, even getting no rewards would be fine. I don't think it's necessarily better, but maybe? What do you think? Would it be better like that? But yeah, not that much to complain about other than this last boss. I wish it was a bit less niche. Maybe 2 more trial characters so you can just use 4. Given that we have to have things for first and second half. But maybe that's a bit too much. Maybe 3 trial characters. Or maybe have the trial characters be a bit better. I actually like the idea of starting with no energy, because it just really makes you build good ER for like the worst case scenarios, which can be painful, can be annoying. I totally get it, but I think it's an interesting thing to try every so often. Since that position I can put myself in sometimes in abyss if you really have to complete it as soon as possible but cannot really go to the next one. So yeah, that is basically gonna be it. Really nice place for high investment and just to have some fun with these different things. And for big numbies, it's really good for big numbies given all of the extra buffs you get. Like it's relatively normal to get like 1 million damage with Gamin on full lords like this one, and obviously many of them are gonna do some crazy numbers. So yeah, pretty fun event all in all. I think this is an upgrade compared to the previous one. As always, there's a bit of room for improvement, but this was really fun. I really liked the dynamic in the first one, on the first floor, to just get the different things that are not just so straightforward, just Unga Bunga in the same rotations as always, and having to think about it a bit more in some ways if you wish to do so. So yeah, that is it. Hopefully it was helpful for those who may be a bit stuck, and I'm doing it for free. This event for some people on Twitch every so often, every day, except today, because today is Sunday, which means variety. Any other day of the day I'll be doing that, so yeah. See you on the next one. Stay milky, blah, 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 blah. Oh, and by the way, there's how many days left? 7 days and 15 hours on EU as of today, 13th of March. It's March, right? Is it March? March, right? April, yikes. Okay, anyway. We'll see you on the next one, bye.